Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be another techie video, and this was going to be the last techie video in this series. And today we did boards. We went through different kind of concaves and different brands just to see what the steepness of noses and tails were. We did trucks to see how it'll affect the kick on that. And then now, today, we're gonna do wheels. We got 6 different sizes of wheels and also sorting brands here. So the first ones we're gonna go over and put these on the board and see what the steepness of the until the tail hits these little little boogers. Snot Wheel Co. 45 millimeters. The Spitfire Formula 4 Classic 50 millimeters. And I did put calipers on the more used wheels. So these came in at 49.9 millimeters across the board. And then we're gonna go with the ones that I've been skating, and it is the 52 millimeter Bones X Formula wheels. And I put calipers on these too, and they haven't worn down at all. They're still right at 52 millimeters. Been skating them for about 2.5 months, so I do have a review up here. I'll put the little card thing. I got the little review of that. Go check that video out if you're interested in these wheels and kind of compare them to the Dragon wheels. So yeah, we got those. Then we got Formula 4 Spitfire conical full 53 millimeters. And we got Satori wheels, Neen Williams 54 millimeter wheels. And then last, Formula 4 Spitfire conical full 55 millimeter wheels. And we're kind of going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put these wheels on the same board with the same trucks and see what the kick angle is. So let's get it to first. Get these little boogie snot wheels getting on now. Then we're also going to go over like different shapes and how the sizes affect that. Talk a little bit about riser pads. So stick around to the end if you're looking for kind of information on wheels. You know, I assume everybody knows this kind of information, but this is your beginner. You found your wheel place. All right, guys, we got the little boogers on there. Look how ridiculous that looks. Look at, I mean, it actually looks kind of cool. So yeah, let's slap her on this, get this going. 45 millimeter booger wheels. 33.6. Now this is just gonna be our first number. Don't forget about that. I'm gonna have the numbers all put up at the end like on the last video. So there's the little boogers. Let me switch over to the 50 millimeter wheels and we'll be right back. All right, 50 millimeter wheels. Here we go. 34.3, all right. Okay, now we got the 52 millimeter Bones X Formula wheels. Let's check the kick. 34.7, that seems to be what it ended at. All right, we got the 53 millimeter Spitfires, zeroed out, and then let's go. 35 on the money, 35 on the money. All right, 54 millimeter wheels. Let's get the kick going. 35. Try this again. 35. Okay. Interesting. Right, last but not least, we got the 55 millimeter wheels. 35.2. Alright, let's go back to face mode and we'll go over some of this data here. So what do these numbers mean? Maybe nothing, maybe significant stuff, no one really knows, but you got numbers representing. And I'm going to put them on the screen so you can see. Me, I actually was surprised there wasn't a bigger difference between a lot of the wheels. I mean, we started going in 1 millimeter increments, but even the difference between like the 52s, which I skate at the kick angle on the board, 34.7, compared to the 55s, which is a larger wheel, in my opinion, 35.2. So you're talking half a degree, right? 35.2, yeah, half a degree in steepness, so that did surprise me. And then so another thing you got to take to consider is the shape of the wheel and how much the wheel is going to affect all sorts of things. The trucks, the amount of grind room you have depending on the size of your trucks. So not only will they be bigger, and you're gonna have a bigger surface around, so you can potentially be rolling faster on bigger wheels. But if you look at this, these are the 52 millimeter wheels, and you can see the space there, and then you look at the 55s, it's shorter. It's a shorter area. And if you measure it, it's just over 5 1/8 on the 55s. And we got 5 3/8. So you're talking a 1/4 inch difference in your grind surface, which is also something to consider when you're thinking about wheels. It all really depends on the type of skating that you do, and the type of skating I do. I like the smaller wheels, and I tried bigger wheels because I thought, you know, they give you more pop, and technically they do, but with those numbers, it's not that significant. Another thing to take into factor is, you know, you got your 55s there, look at, you know, where they stick up. Well, if you're on a ledge, it's just that much more teeter-totter that could throw you off balance. So if I'd say mainly on 50s and things like that, it's gonna kind of tilt your board a little bit more. That's what my brain says. My brain's not always right. And also, like pinch factor on a crook, like a crook, it's gonna throw that off too. And it's one thing if you're used to it, but I don't know, these are all things to kind of think about. Part of the reason is also because like these are conical fulls, so they're gonna be much more squared off. And this is when you gotta think about the shape of your wheels and what kind of skating you do. A lot of people say those will lock in. They lock in much better, and that probably is true because you just have that area there. And they threw me off. Conicals I skated for a while and they actually kind of threw me off. So that's why I really dork. I really like the shape of these Bones X Formula wheels. They're not like a slim, like, or even a Spitfire Classic, but they're somewhere in the middle, and they've been treating me really good. So one thing you could think about is to throw some riser pads on it. So if you throw an 1/8 inch riser pad on your trucks, it's going to lift your board about 3 millimeters. And this math could be wrong, but I double checked it. So when you size up, let's say you go from a 50 to a 52, because it's around the whole thing, you're only going up about 1 millimeter. So if you put riser pads, you can put riser pads on a 50 millimeter wheel, and you would be off the ground as much as if you were skating a 56 millimeter wheel on your truck, if that makes any sense. If not, let me know. But it's because the axle's in the center, so that extra 2 mils is going to be spread out of that, so you'll get 1 mil top and bottom. The riser pad lifts the whole axle up, so that's 3 millimeters total, therefore 6 millimeters in wheel size. But you get the same thing. So for pop wise, you might want to think about the wheels. As the wheels get bigger, they tend to get wider, conical or not. So it's something to think about. Once again, the type of skating you're doing. But the pop angle, yes, that is affected by just wheel size, but it's not that significant as I can see, judging by the numbers. So if you get a lot of wheel bite, riser pads, actually make your wheel smaller, try higher trucks. There's lots of reasons for wheel bite. I get wheel bite because I weigh more. It's that simple. But I actually haven't been doing too bad on this one. I mean, look at this. Look at that deck there. And yeah, if you want to know the specs of this thing complete, I have a setup video. You can go back. I'll put the tag up there. And yeah, so I'm going to be sticking to these Bones wheels. You know, give that video a look if you're looking at this one. And yeah, wheels. I kind of went through it a little quick, but you know, you could go on with wheels for a long time. This isn't supposed to be like some crazy in-depth video about wheels. It's supposed to be, I don't know, we're touching the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg on this kind of stuff. So it's just fun to dork around and see the numbers and that kind of stuff. So yeah, go check out the last 2 videos in this series that went over other specs of boards, and maybe somewhere in this whole thing you might find some information that might be helpful. If so, that's cool. If not, hey, to each their own. I'll see you guys in the next one.